that feeling? Yeah. Head hits the pillow, finally quiet, and then bam, your brain just kicks into overdrive, replaying the day, worrying about tomorrow. That classic nighttime scramble.
Oh, absolutely. That shift from being busy to just stillness. It can really turn up the volume on all those thoughts, especially the anxious ones, can it?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So what if there was a way to, gently guide that mental whirlwind towards something calmer, more serene?
Mm.
Today, we're actually diving into something a bit unexpected for finding that peace and hopefully better sleep. Bedtime stories for adults.
Yeah, but not the kind you might be thinking of. Not your standard fairy tales.
No, definitely not. We're looking at bedtime stories for stressed out adults by Jacqueline D. And it's really quite unique, isn't it? It mixes these familiar story ideas with things like guided meditation, positive affirmations, all woven into these fantastical tales.
It is. It's a fascinating blend. It takes these archetypes we know and uses them in a new way.
So less about finding a prince, more about finding ways to smooth out those mental kinks, maybe? Our goal here in this deep dive is to explore how these stories might actually offer real pathways to calm, that nighttime quiet so many of us are looking for.
Right. Addressing the overthinking, the anxiety that just keeps us staring at the ceiling.
And what's really cool is the variety in the book. Austen creates all these different peaceful worlds, hidden gardens, starry nights, even like the deep ocean.
Mm-hmm. And that variety suggests that finding calm isn't a one-size-fits-all deal, The book uses these different settings really cleverly, I think, to connect with different kinds of inner needs or feelings.
Okay, let's dig into the first one then. Beauty's Garden of Calm. So, Beauty, she seems successful on the outside, maybe has that perfect life we see scrolling online, but inside she feels, well, empty.
Yeah,
So she goes looking for this legendary hidden garden, a place of peace. That contrast, outward success versus inner emptiness, really jumps out.
it really does. And that disconnect is key, I think. The garden being hidden suggests that real solace, real peace, it isn't tied to external achievements or what other people think.
Maybe the hunt for those external things is part of the problem.
Could be. Could very well be. That constant striving might just hollow things out inside.
And the garden itself, the descriptions are so vivid. The bright flowers, the smells of herbs, the soft moss, the quiet sounds. It really does draw you into a calm space just reading it.
The sensory detail is crucial there.
But then the beast shows up unexpectedly.
Mm-hmm.
And at first he's like warning her off, trying to keep her out. What's going on there?
Well, his appearance is jarring, right? But maybe it's necessary. He could almost represent beauty's own, internal resistance to finding peace. The doubts or fears that pop up when you try to just be calm.
Ah, okay. Like fighting against letting go.
Yeah, maybe. His reaction kind of shows how hard it can be sometimes to just accept calm when you're not used to it.
But then there's the lavender. It's described as this focus point, this source of peace, and it sort of draws Beauty and the Beast together.
Mm.
What's the power of that specific detail, the lavender?
I think the lavender acts as a kind of bridge, a shared sensory thing. It suggests that sometimes something simple and external, a smell, a sight, a sound, can actually help create connection and kickstart healing.
Does the book imply you always need something external like that, or could just sharing vulnerability do it?
That's a great question. Maybe the lavender just lowers the walls enough,
Yeah.
allows them to connect more deeply. Because their relationship then grows slowly, right, through these quiet moments, sharing vulnerabilities in the garden. It's not big drama.
No, it's small, shared stuff,
Yeah.
healing together. So for someone listening who maybe feels that same emptiness, despite looking successful,
Yeah.
what's the main takeaway?
I think the core idea is that real peace, real connection, it doesn't always come after you've ticked all the boxes externally. It can show up unexpectedly when you allow yourself to be vulnerable, even with someone unexpected. It's about facing that inner feeling, not just papering over it with more doing.
Makes sense. Okay, next up, Cinderella's Midnight Retreat, Finding Peace Beneath the Stars. We all know the basic story, tough life, longing for more, but this version highlights how even before the ball, she finds little moments of peace in her garden, looking at the stars.
Right, those become her little sanctuaries, places she can escape to, find a bit of solace, even when everything else is difficult. It really speaks to that basic human need for refuge, doesn't it? A safe spot.
Totally. And then, okay, the magic happens. The ball is
Yeah.
amazing but short-lived dream.
Yeah.
But the moment that really got me was after, when the magic wears off and she's just sitting there under the stars thinking.
Yes. That moment is so powerful because stripped of all the external magic, the dress,
Hmm.
the coach, the whole scene, she has this realization, the joy she felt. It wasn't just about the prince or the palace.
It came from inside her.
Exactly. It came from her own sense of self-worth, the freedom she felt in that moment, the potential she saw in herself.
So the fancy stuff was just temporary sparkle, but the real lasting magic was her own belief in herself. Is that the idea?
That's it, precisely. The story really drives home that inner peace and knowing your own value. That's the true magic. It lasts. It's not dependent on outside approval or fleeting good fortune.
That's a really empowering way to look at it. Okay,
Yeah.
let's shift gears a bit. Sleeping Beauty's Dreamscape, guided meditation for restful sleep. Now, here, Aurora's Sleeping Beauty, the curse, is lifted, but she's still not sleeping well, so she finds peace inside her dreams, in her dreamscape.
Yeah, this one explicitly brings in using imagination as a tool. The dreamscape becomes this internal safe space where she can work through any leftover anxiety or unease from the whole curse ordeal. It suggests we can actually create our own mental sanctuaries.
And the descriptions are really designed to be calming, aren't they? The sunlit path, the forest of gentle dreams, the river of healing.
Yeah.
It's very sensory, very guided. How does that help us, the listener or reader?
Those vivid, gentle images are key. By focusing your mind on them, the story guides you towards relaxing, letting go of the day's stress. It's like you're actively building a calm, internal environment.
So the dreamscape is like a mental escape hatch to find that quiet place inside and get ready for actual sleep, like a feature of our minds we can learn to use.
Exactly. It really highlights how powerful our minds are in generating feelings of calm and safety. It's a refuge we can access anytime, really.
Okay, next. Snow White's Forest Haven, embracing stillness among the trees. Snow White ends up in the forest after, the whole apple incident. At first, it's probably just survival, right? But it turns into this peaceful sanctuary for her. Tell us about that change.
Right. Her time in the forest shows how solitude and nature can transform. What starts as maybe scary isolation becomes a source of real strength and peace. She finds comfort, a sense of belonging, just being in the natural world away from all the drama and judgment.
And the story really leans into that connection with nature, doesn't it?
Mhm.
The quiet rhythm of a woods reflects her own inner state, helps her build resilience, find peace that isn't about what anyone else thinks.
Mm-hmm. The forest grounds her. It mirrors her inner strength and offers the sense of just harmony. It reinforces that idea again. Peace isn't about getting approval, it's found within, and often through connecting with nature.
Moving to the Swan Princess's serene lake, a tale of tranquility and release. Odette, under her curse, escapes to this beautiful, calm lake for temporary relief.
Mhm.
What does the lake represent?
The lake is a really strong symbol for her. It reflects her deep longing for release, for freedom from the curse, and it offers this temporary peace, this quiet beauty, even though the bigger problem isn't solved yet. It's a moment of respite.
And the lake is described as having this quiet wisdom. Odette starts to realize that true healing isn't just about the curse breaking, but something changing inside her. What's that shift about?
The stillness of the lake kind of mirrors her own journey toward accepting her situation, maybe, and finding ways to heal from within. It really emphasizes that theme of surrender, not giving up, but accepting the present and finding peace in that stillness, rather than just pinning all hopes on an external change.
Then we have Rapunzel's quiet tower, reflecting on peaceful solitude. Now, usually the tower is just a prison, right? But here, her solitary life surrounded by nature sounds becomes her sanctuary. That's quite a twist.
It really is. It challenges that idea that being alone is always bad. For Rapunzel, the quiet solitude lets her cultivate this deep inner peace. She finds contentment in herself, in the natural rhythms around her, instead of constantly yearning for something outside the tower.
It's about finding a rhythm in the solitude, maybe. The forest sounds become company, and she builds this inner strength, this peace that doesn't depend on the outside world. What's the takeaway for someone maybe feeling isolated?
I think Rapunzel's story suggests that peace, even connection, can be found in solitude. Through being present, appreciating your immediate surroundings, connecting with yourself and with nature, it's not always about needing other people right there.
Okay, next stop is underwater. The Little Mermaid's underwater sanctuary, easing overthinking through the ocean's embrace. Ariel finds a secret coral garden to escape her busy thoughts. Why this hidden spot?
Ariel's garden is her escape from the noise and expectations of palace life, yeah. A place to quiet her mind, which the story says is wilder than the currents of the sea. The ocean's rhythm in that quiet spot helps soothe her overthinking.
And those sensory details, again, the swaying coral, the gentle water flow, it creates that peaceful feeling.
Yeah.
And she learns from the ocean, right? Stillness, listening, letting go of needing approval. What does the ocean teach her?
The ocean becomes her teacher, yeah. It shows her that real peace is internal, not found in the busy world or chasing what others want. It's about quieting that inner noise and just being present, learning to be still.
Then we have The Golden Bird's Evening Melody, a story to soothe anxiety. This bird song brings peace to a whole village, but when the song vanishes, the anxiety comes right back. What's that telling us?
Well, the bird's song is like an external source of calm for everyone. When it disappears, it really highlights how much they relied on it and how anxious they get without it. It makes you wonder if we sometimes depend too much on outside things for our peace of mind.
And Arya, the girl who goes looking for the bird, she learns the lesson, right? The bird tells her they'd all forgotten how to find peace inside themselves. They needed to rediscover silence to even hear the melody again.
Exactly. The core message there is that while external things might offer temporary comfort, real lasting peace comes from within. The villagers had to practice stillness, cultivate that inner quiet, before the bird's song symbolizing their own inner harmony could return.
Following that is Thumbelina's Meadow of Rest, a journey to inner calm. Thumbelina has been through a lot, and she finally reaches this peaceful meadow and just stops. She breathes.
Yeah.
How important is that simple act of resting?
Oh, it's huge. Her arrival in the meadow marks this big shift from struggle to peace. The meadow itself is soothing. It gives her the space to finally let go of all the tension she's been holding on to. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes healing just requires allowing ourselves to rest, truly rest.
And the story really captures that feeling of just being, doesn't it? No more running, no more striving. The peace was there inside her, and the meadow just gave her the space to notice it.
Precisely. The meadow is the catalyst for her to reconnect with the peace she already had within. It's a great reminder that often what we're searching for outwardly is already inside us, just waiting for a quiet moment to be found.
Okay, now, the peaceful piper of Hamelin, Serenity Song for a Weary Soul, feels a bit different. The piper's music first brings peace by getting rid of the rats. Seems like a straightforward solution.
Yeah, initially, his music solves a very real practical problem. It brings relief, calm, by dealing with an external stressor, and that highlights how sometimes tackling outside issues is part of finding peace.
But then, the broken promise happens, and the piper uses his music again, but this time to lead the children away. It creates this silence, but it's an eerie, tragic silence, isn't it?
It really is. It turns into a cautionary tale, doesn't it? About broken trust and how even actions aimed at peace can have terrible unintended consequences. The silence left behind isn't peaceful, it's full of loss.
It's a stark reminder that maybe the how of finding peace matters and actions always have ripples.
Absolutely. The story raises questions about the real cost of peace sometimes and the ethics involved in seeking it. Not all quiet is good quiet.
Right. Okay, next. The King's Velvet Cloak, wrapping yourself in comfort and ease. King Cedric is wise, but has a restless mind, always worrying. He wants peace, and then this apparently magical cloak shows up, promising calm. What does his desire for the cloak tell us?
King Cedric's situation is very relatable, I think. Even wise, successful people struggle with worry. The cloak represents that common desire for an external fix, doesn't it? A magic bullet for an internal issue.
And it seems to work for him, at first. He puts it on, feels calm, but then his advisors try it, and nothing. Doesn't work for them. What's the difference?
That's the key twist. The story reveals the cloak's magic wasn't in the fabric itself. It was in the wearer's willingness to accept comfort, to consciously let go of worries. The cloak was more like a prompt, a reminder. The real work was internal.
Ah, okay. So the lesson is you can't just put on peace like a coat. It has to come from inside, through self-care, through consciously trying to quiet the mind, not just hoping an external thing will do it for you.
Exactly. The cloak is a great metaphor for how our own internal state is crucial for cultivating any lasting peace.
Then there's the Glass Mountain's Gentle Glow, a pathway to tranquility. This mountain is legendary. Climb to the top, find pure peace, but it's a hard climb. Elena takes on this challenge because she desperately wants that serenity. What's a tough journey about?
The glass mountain represents that sometimes the path to inner peace is difficult. The struggle of the climb mirrors the effort it can take to work through our own anxieties and internal blocks. It suggests finding real peace isn't always quick or easy.
And as Lena climbs, her mind clears, anxiety lifts. It's like the physical effort helps shed the mental weight. Does that resonate with you? that physical mental link.
Oh, definitely. There's often a strong connection. Focusing on a physical challenge can absolutely help quiet the mental noise, give you a sense of release.
And the realization she has at the top is so lovely, isn't it? That the piece wasn't waiting there as a prize, but it was actually a reflection of a light she already had inside herself.
Exactly. The story drives home that peace isn't some external destination you arrive at. It's more like a state of being you uncover or nurture within yourself, recognizing what's already there.
Our second to last one is The Star Maiden's Celestial Rest, letting go beneath the night sky. Lyra, the Star Maiden, connects with the stars and shares peace with others. What's important about this shared peace?
Lyra embodies the idea that peace isn't just a personal thing, it can be shared. It can grow through connection. By teaching others to look up at the stars, to practice stillness, she helps them find their own calm.
And the villagers learn from her, looking at the stars, being still. So it's both finding peace inside yourself and recognizing it can be a shared thing. What does that say about community?
It highlights that peace can be both individual and collective. When we share practices that promote calm, we can actually help build a more peaceful community around us. It's contagious in a good way.
Okay, finally, we have two shorter ones that seem to wrap things up nicely. The Enchanted Forest of Quiet Whispers and The Whispering Meadow of Dreams. Both seem to really emphasize nature and imagination again.
Yes, the enchanted forest reinforces that idea of nature itself offering peace. Those quiet whispers remind us that calm is often right there, within us and around us, if we just listen.
And The Whispering Meadow comes back to the power of our imagination, doesn't it? Creating those peaceful mental escapes, those sanctuaries where we can let go of worries and get ready for deep sleep.
Absolutely. Both stories really emphasize how accessible peace can be, either through connecting with the real world around us or by using our own minds to create those calming inner spaces.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into bedtime stories for stressed out adults,
Hmm.
what's the big takeaway? The thread connecting all these different tales.
I think the main message really is that peace isn't some far off goal. It's actually reachable right now through lots of different paths. The book constantly points back to our own inner resources, the power of imagination, and just the simple, fundamental importance of letting ourselves rest.
Yeah, it really boils down to seeing that tranquility can pop up in unexpected places
Yeah.
through simple things like really connecting with nature for a moment,
Mhm.
taking time for quiet reflection, or just letting go of that feeling like we have to control everything all the time.
Exactly. The book is like this gentle, imaginative nudge, reminding us we all deserve that stillness. And it gives so many different examples, different scenarios to help you tap into that capacity for peace that really we all have inside us somewhere.
So maybe as you're getting ready for sleep tonight, think about which story or which idea really clicked with you. Was it Beauty's Quiet Garden? Cinderella? Looking at the stars? Maybe the calming sounds of that forest? How could you bring just a little bit of that feeling, real or imagined, into your own wind-down routine?
That's a lovely thought. What kind of enchanted space? Maybe it's a real spot, maybe it's a sensory thing like a scent or sound, or maybe just a place you build in your mind. What space can you create for yourself tonight? Just for a moment. Find some calm before you drift off.
Sweet dreams to you, and may your night bring restful sleep and a true sense of inner peace.